Hey everyone, welcome back. It's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and this is our big showdown. So, all kidding aside, Ultimate Alliance and Marvel's Avengers are very different. Very, very different, but they're also similar in a lot of ways. You know, obviously it's co-op, there's gear, team building, and what should have been a robust slate of playable characters. Marvel's Avengers didn't get to that. But and then again, you know, this is about perspective. A lot of this is going to be opinionated, and it's a matter of getting perspective and getting, your perspective on this. But when you look at the two titles of Ultimate Alliance versus Avengers, and what the future holds for these two titles and for these two franchises within Marvel, what is the better next step? Ultimate Alliance 1 was a sales success. Ultimate Alliance 2, lesser so. I think we can all kind of see why. Ultimate Alliance 3 was a massive success on one console. Because again, just to reiterate, Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, launched exclusively on Nintendo Switch, and it sold more than Marvel's Avengers, and Marvel's Avengers was available on everything. I think that's very much so worth pointing out. I think that's a fair point to make in this conversation. So when we look at the future of this franchise, and when we talk about it from a marketing perspective, when we talk about it as fans, as consumers, what is the business thinking? You know, what is the more beloved franchise? What is the more beloved name? You know, does Ultimate Alliance generate more reassurance in consumers versus another or a new game called Avengers? Now, obviously, an Ultimate Alliance 4 is continuing in a franchise. I don't believe we'll ever get an Avengers 2. I would very easily 100% certain we will not get an Avengers 2, a sequel to Crystal Dynamics' title. Now, a different conversation is, will we get an Avengers game in the future? I think it's crazy if that name, if the name, the brand of the Avengers is never seen again. It's so huge, it's so popular. I can't see a world where that doesn't happen. I think Avengers and Ultimate Alliance can coexist like they already have, but also Ultimate Alliance 3 came at a very different time. Marvel was working, again, just to look back on it, just to wind the clock back, Marvel was working very closely with Square Enix on the Avengers as a multi-platform title that was not going to be coming to the Switch. So the Switch was going to be empty of any high-quality Marvel content. Ultimate Alliance as a brand wasn't useful because it was believed that a multi-platform Ultimate Alliance would compete with Avengers, which, even though it was exclusive to Switch, it still competed with it. We had live streams that were taken over by conversations about which one was better when both were finally out in the wild and in their hands. While, yes, they are different, they are fundamentally different, they're still similar on a basic consumer level. They still are that same kind of, oh, hey, put a team together, put a group together, get your friends together, play as your favorite heroes. One ended up being successful, one not so. So what is the more reliable franchise? Do we get an Ultimate Alliance 4 that goes multi-platform because of the massive success? I mean, honestly, I think that's very possible now. I think Avengers I could see Avengers resting and us getting another Ultimate Alliance title that is multi-platform. I think Marvel is crazy to not realize the popularity and how loved that franchise is. And I think now, seeing how well it did with Nintendo, there is, or at least there should be, a drive to get that out and to get that into more hands. Because if it sold that well on the Switch, imagine how well it would sell on every console, on every device, on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. It's crazy to leave that money on the table. And Nintendo was solely responsible for Ultimate Alliance 3. Ultimate Alliance 3 would not have happened without Nintendo, because Nintendo agreed to publish it. That was their decision. Nintendo doesn't own Ultimate Alliance, though. Marvel can do an Ultimate Alliance 4 without Nintendo publishing it and make it multi-platform. I really, really do think that's the next logical choice. I don't see how you ignore the sales success of the title and the brand name. I just don't. It just seems crazy to me. And I want your opinion and perspective on it. Because obviously this is just me. But when we look at the next big franchise from Marvel, the next big cooperative franchise that brings heroes together, is it going to be Avengers? Is it going to be Ultimate Alliance? It cannot be both. They will, whether or not you agree or disagree that even on a basic level they are the same to consumers, they would compete with each other. So what is the next big multi-platform release in terms of cooperative design that brings all these heroes together? And this is what I want to know from you, and I want to know why you think what you think, whatever side you fall on in this civil war. See what I did there? Is it Ultimate Alliance? Is it Avengers? And why do you think that? Why do you think it would be successful? Why do you think it wouldn't be successful? And which do you think has more trust with consumers? What brand has more trust? This is all stuff that I want to know, and I want your perspective and opinions on. So thank you so much for watching and for commenting. And above all else, and most importantly, stay safe, take care of others, and have a marvelous day. Bye, everyone.